coach, you guys were up by 5 points at one point. It looked like you guys had the momentum of the game, and then it just switched. Was there anything in your mind that really led to that?
I mean, I think that's just college basketball games are. It is, games of momentum. Games are like mini runs, and it's the experience and the teams that, again, I know this. If you took their starting five and tallied up the number of college basketball games they've played in compared to my guys, it wouldn't even be close. So getting that experience of learning, what does that mean, game of runs, and how do you then, go on a 3 possession one of yours, get a -3 possession for them, and that's how you ultimately win the game, But no matter what in a college game, you go up 43-38 till you have that experience. And like I told the guys, that's why winning is so hard. Everybody knows winning is so hard in college basketball, Division I. I don't care, college football, pro football. Winning's hard. And it's hard because it's a habit. And what is that habit? Well, we had the habit for like 36, 37 minutes. We've gotten so much better in 8 days about knowing what we got to do and how to play and how competitive we got to be and go get the ball, and it was evident today. It's not our habit, though, to do it for 40 minutes. It's not our habit to do it over and over again. And those are the things that, stopped the momentum, because what they did actually at that juncture was 44-22, went and got the ball. Loose balls. They're all loose balls. A rebound's a loose ball. It's all we've been stressing, right? So that's what happened at that juncture. We then also stubbed our toe with a couple turnovers, which again that's a ball. The ball's in your hands. Just grab it, hold it, keep it. Whatever you do, something good's going to happen. You do those things, and that's your habit. You find yourself keeping momentum. And then throw in there we miss fouls. At that same time, we miss fouls, and that's called sort of winning. But first and foremost, I want to stress that our guys, their effort level, like they're the amount we've improved in 1 week, they all know it. So now, now I'm telling you is now you got the next step is that the habit of winning, that you got to do it all the time. And that's an experience thing. It's a wherewithal thing. Ultimately it comes to, as you get older and stronger and tougher and care more and all, it's a character thing, and if we stay with it, you got a guy like Kellen Boylan. Did we find, all I'm looking for are guys like that, and for him to come out in his first college basketball game for real, I mean, that's it. That's a player. That's all you're looking for. And if we had Petritis at the same time, that guy's a player, right? That stuff's contagious, and so we just got to stay with what we're doing. There were good minutes for Beasley tonight, probably too many. But again, I think positives, as ultimately we all know, you play to win.
You mentioned how good Kellen was, and you touched on Chase a little bit too. What did you like about his offensive efficiency, tying for the most points on a fairly high shooting percentage in his first career start?
Yeah, I thought he was, again, was 1,000 times better than he was 8 days ago. This experience is going to help him. It's almost like what you saw him do are the things that obviously if I'm playing him and said, hey, well, that's the reason why. But there's got to come the learning curve of the hardness, like the toughness, the hardness factor, and that comes from experience of just playing in game after game where you learn how hard the game is and you maintain your sort of hardness. And I think tonight you saw there, there's a little wearing away of that, but the guy's never played in a college basketball game before, and all of a sudden you're in a game and we're playing and competing and we got a chance to win, and it's hard, so, but I know that he can learn from this experience, and what he's got to learn is he's just got to get, he got 5 turnovers, it really comes down, he had 5 turnovers, you got to take care of the ball better. That's really all it comes down. What is that? Just hold on to it. Whatever that is, like, it might sound simple, but it's hard because you got to be really tough. And I think you learn that, obviously, the more you play.
How much of an emphasis will free throws be in the coming days?
In some respects, I can't make it be an emphasis because, I don't want to put an emphasis and put something in our guys' head, we're not a good, well, you know what? Whether you are a good shooting team or not a good shooting team, I think we shot fouls yesterday. We shot fouls the day before. You know what I mean? Same thing. Guys who play basketball, guys who've been in games, guys who know how hard it is. Well, they learn how to make fouls, and I don't want to put my pressure on them, you know what I mean? There is no pressure, really. It's called step up there and make them. Again, I think the more you're in the games, the more experience you have, the better you get at those things. And then again, the habit is being every single game. So we've played one or two possession game, right? Bo makes 2 foul shots at 61-57. It's a game. We got to do it all the time because that's when you learn that experience to, okay, I'm making these fouls. I'm getting that loose ball, and then it becomes like a we thing, and winning ultimately is a we thing. It's not an I thing, So I'm glad these guys got this experience. I'm glad we've gotten better, and I feel it's a better way to move forward to our next game. It's like we got like a little 6-game season here where we got 6 games in 2 weeks, and I don't know if Regis is going to play, and you guys got to play, and you got to play the way we played every game, the way we played tonight.
Coach, you said one of the biggest things that when we talked was that it wasn't really the final score that you were more concerned about, but it was more of the process that you were worried about, the process that you wanted to see. After 40 minutes tonight, what did you learn about your team? What did you learn about this roster that you didn't know yesterday?
Well, until you play in a game, first college game, first real game, people in the stands, a band, until you've done that, it's an experience, and different people handle it different ways. Some people just, a freshman comes in, oh, no big deal, he just rises. Another guy needs 3, 4, 5 games. What I learned, and it's not yet definitive because I got to see it again on Thursday, but what I learned was, okay, these guys that we said, let's give them a chance. Let's throw them out there. Let's see what they're going to do. Boylan, Beasley, first game. Even Byron Brown in his limited time there, he did. Okay, I saw things that you need to see to know, okay, I think we're on the right path. And if I hadn't seen that tonight, then I'd be going, oh, man, I don't know, man. Because in the end, 2 scrimmages, practice with what we're emphasizing, you rise to that level. A player rises to that level. Doesn't mean he plays perfect. Doesn't, but they go and they get that ball, and you can talk about, oh, that guy looks, and then you can build on something like that. So I think that's what I learned, and the last thing I said to the team in there is, and to the whole group, I said, and listen, guys, we're going to keep doing what we're doing, and all I'm looking for, who else wants to join? Who wants to come over and just join this thing and say, yep, I'm building that habit, Coach. I'm in, because that's all I'm looking for, and in order to build that habit, you got to be like that. You got to have that mentality. I'm here, I'm doing it, and we've done that over the last week. That's why we got better. We got to make sure that we keep doing it. You go on the road, nothing gets easier. Nothing gets easier. Things just get, they don't get harder. They are what they are, and you got to embrace it, and you got to really say, I'm all in, and I'm building this habit, because we all know these habits I'm talking about, they're hard to build. That's why winning's hard. The other alternative, that's the easy way. So I really that's what I saw from our guys, because I think we can build off that.
In the second half, it looked like a completely different team, and you're talking about building habits. Those are the way that you're able to win. What did you say to your group before they went out in the second half? What adjustments did you make?
Before the game started, I said, all right, guys, I'm going to talk to you about this before the game, and what we're going to do is we're going to come in at halftime. We're going to talk about the same exact things, because you got to do it for 40 minutes. And then I said, and when we come in after the game, when the 40's up, I'm going to talk to you about the same exact things, so that we can stay in this box, because we got to keep getting better. So I think the guys knew when we came, okay, guys, we did a better job. The thing I liked the most in the first half was the way we finished the first half. We won the last 3.5 minutes. I think it was 30-21. We walked off the court down 31-27. So for this team, that's what you're looking for. They came in, they heard what I said. Like I said, all right, guys, you played your first 20. You're competing your tails off. The effort, we're so much better. Okay, relax now. Can you learn? That comes with the experience too. I got it. I know what this feels like. I'm relaxed. And that is, again, where I think if you can be 100% healthy, then you have all the guys in the right spots playing with the right combinations, And I think sometimes for now, Ethan Taylor's going to have to learn, okay, this is going to be a little, could be a little off kilter-ish for a little while but he's got to learn to be okay with that and not have it affect him sort of negatively, and I thought he did an okay job of that. But again, I mean, he's going to play 38 minutes, so there's got to be that sort of wherewithal. But those little things come into play, and that's again where this experience, okay, wasn't great. It's hard. Nothing's perfect, but it doesn't bother you. I thought we were a little bit better at that in the second half, just that game experience type stuff. And then we just couldn't, we couldn't do what you had to do to win the game. That's really what it came down to. And they did. 44 and 22 did. And 5 went and drove a couple times. 44, can't get out of the way. You got to hold your ground. This is all the things we've stressed that we've gotten better at. But that's why we're stressing them, because that's where the wins come from.
You guys are up 5 points down the stretch, and then the momentum kind of shifts. Was there a certain thing that happened that made that energy kind of favor Portland State?
I don't think it's anything in particular. I'm going to take full responsibility for that game. Down the stretch, guys have to make shots. Guys who have played, me, Jeffrey Mills, Bo Becker, we had guys step up this game, Chase, Kellen, and those guys leaned on us. And in that stretch, we just didn't show up. And so for the next following games, we're getting better as a team from our scrimmages from this game. So we got to continue to improve. And not just the guys who are new, but the guys who have played before.
You mentioned Chase and Kellen. I felt like both of them showed flashes of being really good contributors. What did you like about their efforts tonight?
I love the way they improved. Both those guys, really haven't played that much. Chase and Kellen both getting to the basket. Kel had 15 rebounds. That's amazing coming from someone who hasn't played a college game before. And like I said before, those guys have leaned on us, the guys who have played, and we have to give them the same respect back.
Jeffrey told me the other day that the defense was something that had really improved the last few practices. I felt like defense was one of the stronger points for you guys tonight. What did you like about the defensive effort?
I like the energy we had. In our scrimmages, we didn't have that much energy, so we didn't get the results we wanted. But in this first game, we buckled down. We tried to get a lot of steals, a lot of crashing out. We kind of fell off towards the end, but throughout the whole game, we tried to get our hands on balls. Just trying to get stops all around. Pause.
I know last year that late game was kind of an issue for you guys, whether that be turnovers, other things that caused leads to kind of slip. I know it's early in the season, first game, but how is that just something you guys don't dwell on, just kind of look at like, okay, we can be good down the stretch?
Yeah, it's like I keep saying, the guys have played. Those guys are new, and yeah, we struggled with that last year, and they saw it, and we went through it. So that's something we're working on every day. We have drills like last 4 minutes, last 3 minutes, trying to correct those errors and trying to make everything crisp. But at the end of the day, we got to just have guys put the ball in the basket. And down the stretch, when guys counted on the guys who play, we just didn't come through.
Well, Chase, first game as a starter today, how did you just feel about how you played? I felt like the scoring was definitely efficient for you out there.
Yep, definitely nervous a little bit at the beginning, but excited. Coach Scott puts his trust in me to handle the ball, be the point guard, and I'm just out there trying to repay him for that trust, help out my teammates any way possible, and just go out and try to get the dub.
Kind of similar to what I asked Ethan, but as this team gets more chemistry, gets used to playing with each other, is that something you expect some of these late game slip-ups to kind of go away?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, me and Kellen, we haven't played before. So, I think as more games go on, we'll build that team chemistry. Once Redis comes back, it'll be better for the group, and then we'll eventually just find Air Force basketball.
I felt like for a team lacking some size this year, the rebounding was actually pretty solid. Some really scrappy plays offensively and defensively. Just how are you guys able to kind of compensate for some of that size?
Every day in practice we're doing physical drills, and we're doing just, box out drills and any type of way to just get our bodies on people, because we know we're kind of an undersized team. We have all around like 6'6", 6'4", between 6'7" players. We're going to be playing against people who's 7 feet tall, so we definitely have to get in there, just be physical, and Coach Scott just emphasizes that to us every single day. So,
Chase, it seemed like before halftime, you guys were you were thinking a little bit offensively, and it felt like when you guys came out after halftime, you found your rhythm a little bit more. People were starting to kind of smile on the offensive end. It felt like there was a little bit of a lift, and you started to kind of gel a little bit more offensively. What was talked about at halftime?
Halftime, just pretty much the game plan was to go out there and make sure we get our hands on balls. Defense first. Offense will obviously come, but just boxing out, getting a rebound, and make sure we're executing on offense. And, first game jitters, first half, obviously the first game jitters are going to be in effect. So second half, everybody's already loose. So we just try to go out there and play.